welcome. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to invite you to take a moment with me to remember our deployed military members who cannot be home like most of us can be. It is a cause that is near and dear to my husband's heart and therefore my own as well. And if you feel like it, take a moment with us. Enjoy your video. Bye-bye. Hey guys, okay, Friday Fraud Law Review. Happy Friday, TGIF. Hope you are all doing great and have a wonderful weekend coming up. This is, I just had a Nigerian fraud scheme in a recent Friday report, but here's another one. And literally one was March 4th and one was March 5th. So boom, boom, boom. Okay, so in this case, this is in Maryland. The other one I think was New York, but involved a little bit in New Jersey and all across the country because it was a big national scam. Apparently, this one is, it says that this individual, which is Newton Ophioritsy, I don't know how to say it, Jamide, age 47, is a Nigerian national and pled guilty to the federal charge of wire fraud conspiracy. He was recently extradited from France and was involved in a scheme to fraudulently obtain federal benefits. So apparently he was hiding out in France and they yanked him back here to the District of Maryland in order to prosecute him for what he did here. So what did he do? Apparently he and his co-conspirators, with much greed and utter disregard, this is their words, not mine, for the suffering of those who need national emergency assistance by stealing from the government. Okay, and they say it will not be tolerated. Duh, let's hope not. I want them to get into the meat of it. I guess during the time frame covered by the indictment, FEMA provided emergency benefits and compensation for damages to victims affected by declared national emergency disasters, such as hurricanes and wildfires, as we know, right? Among other benefits, an individual in an affected area was immediately eligible for critical needs assistance, that's CNA, to purchase life-saving or life-sustaining materials. Victims could decide how to receive assistance payments, which included deposits on prepaid debit cards. According to the guilty plea, back in 2016 and 2017, Jamide and others from Nigeria directed co-conspirators living in the United States to purchase hundreds of Green Dot debit cards. Co-conspirators living in Nigeria then registered the cards with Green Dot using stolen personal information from identity theft victims around the United States. Jamide and his co-conspirators used an encrypted messaging application and other means to communicate. Just as a little aside, the people that do these massive scams and they really rip off poor people, vulnerable people, and others because sometimes you just can't help that your identity gets stolen. It just happens even though you're being careful. They're very clever, and it's a shame that they have to use their brains to only make money by screwing other people, innocent people. Like, why don't they use their brains to make money honestly? I'm not saying you have to go be a charitable, this or that or cure world hunger, but can't you do something that doesn't screw other people? You don't have to help them, but you have to screw them to make your money. I don't know. I always think of that when I think of these really smart people they were very clever to be able to do what they did, and they used their cleverness only to steal, not to make money in a legit way, which takes probably more cleverness if you think about it. Anyway, in 2017, this is following the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, as well as the California fires. Jamide and other co-conspirators from Nigeria used stolen personal information to apply online for FEMA and CNA benefits. FEMA dispersed $500 per claim on the Green Dot cards that the co-conspirators purchased for a total of at least $8 million. $8 million at $500 per claim. Wow, that's a lot of claims to get up to 8 million, right? They point out that apparently the Secret Service's global reach had a great effect on this investigation, as well as collaboration with partner agencies to combat the cyber-enabled financial crimes and relentlessly pursue those committing them. Apparently, in addition to filing those false disaster assistance claims with FEMA, Jamaid and co-conspirators also submitted false online claims for Social Security benefits, IRS tax refunds, and other government benefits using stolen identities of multiple individuals, including names, addresses, Social Security numbers, and other personal identifiers. Newton, I'm not even gonna say that middle name because I'm just gonna butcher it. Jamaid and his co-conspirators, and this is a quote, misused Social Security numbers to steal government funds via SSA's online services. The misuse of SSA's e-services to defraud SSA and rightful beneficiaries and recipients will not be tolerated at any level, which sounds like it was from the acting, I don't know, was it the Social Security SAC, acting commissioner, but I don't know what it stands for. As a result of fraudulent submissions, FEMA and the other federal agencies deposited the benefits onto the Green Dot debit cards. The funds were deposited on the debit cards using multiple stolen identities, including identities different from the identities used to register the cards. Jamaid and select co-conspirators informed other co-conspirators when the fraudulent funds became available on the debit cards and gave them information to cash out the funds from the cards in exchange for a commission. Additionally, the co-conspirators took steps to conceal their identities by enlisting others to make purchases and withdrawals, utilizing multiple store and bank locations and methods of withdrawal, and making money orders payable to other individuals or corporate entities. Jamaid, the lovely, not so lovely Jamaid from Nigeria, faces a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Actual sentences, they go on to say, of course, for federal crimes are typically less than maximum penalties. Yeah, we know. We know that well, don't we? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Okay, so there you got it. Another major scam across the waters into the United States. Okay, thought I'd share that to you. I'm assuming we're not going to hear another Nigerian one for a few months, but we'll see. I always try to pick out I do try to pick out when it comes from another country because it's coming into our country and invading it in such a horrible way. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend.